You got the world. The world.
Are you going to, it's another train coming situation?
Another train coming, that's the new one.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Joel Embiid cries, Steph Curry celebrates, and LeBron has a new coach. But we begin today with one of the greatest game-winning shots in the history of basketball. Right up there with Christian Laettner and Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson and anyone else you can name. Kawhi Leonard's shot hit the near rim, bounced straight up, hit the near rim again, bounced to the far rim, hit it twice, and gently dropped. Wilbon, what did you make of that shot, that ending, and that series?
Okay, first of all, don't ever put Christian Laettner in that company again. Don't ever do that.
It was a great game-winning shot.
Kids game. No, let's get to the
great game-winning shot.
Who played
one of the most
yesterday.
famous shots ever in college.
The shot forces you to say, first, I just remember screaming out loud in my house, I missed it. Because it's got to go back the other way. The shot has to hit the front rim and come back. It was so soft, and when it goes in, there's just screaming.
Yeah.
And mostly for me and Matthew, we're screaming, just like it was the announcers did. They screamed. There's only one response. And then to see Joel Embiid, and I was obsessed with that, and I still am, to go to Marc Gasol, who obviously he had a relationship, and Gasol is saying to him, "You'll get back here. Don't worry about it." And Embiid afterwards saying Gasol had so much class to help me out like that in that moment. This is what the agony of defeat is. And I'm thinking of all the people I despise and find loathsome who say pros don't feel and it's only the college kids who feel. And I want to slap their faces and say, look at Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
It was a great game. It wasn't artistically played. It was contentious. It was wonderful. It was everything basketball and sports should be.
So I watched that game carefully. I watched both games carefully yesterday. I was struck by the Toronto players who did not want to touch the ball, did not want to shoot the ball ever. Guys who are all-stars, like Pascal Siakam is an all-star. I believe Kyle Lowry's been an all-star numerous times.
Yeah.
As soon as the ball got to their hands, they were looking for number two. Please, God, let Kawhi Leonard have this ball.
Why did they bring number two to Toronto?
I don't want to shoot.
Why did number two come to Toronto?
He ends up taking 39 shots, not because he's a hog,
no,
but because he's willing.
He's being expected.
The story of that series to me is how great Kawhi Leonard was. He averaged 35 points. 54% shooting.
You see the names
so far in the playoffs.
He's on the list with.
He's the greatest player in the playoffs so far.
I think the names up there with him, the only ones up there with him are like Jordan, Kareem, and Wilt in terms of scoring in a series. Tony, he was great.
I'm in my ear. Siakam not an all-star yet, but he's comeback player of the year. You were going to vote.
He's going to be one.
I mean, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking that they cannot beat Milwaukee.
Ooh, be careful.
If they're afraid to shoot.
Don't you think the monkeys off of them now? They've won this big series. They could never get past LeBron. You know what I'm getting at here.
I know, but the
pressure may be off.
They were scared.
They were. What about what they're going to be? You think they're still going to be scared?
In a game 7 to be scared at home.
Everybody's scared in a game 7. It's game 7.
At home.
Game 7. The real killer for the 76ers is they don't even get to say, wait till next year. There may be no next year. Not with Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, and J.J. Redick all going into free agency. Embiid and Ben Simmons are under contract, and the Sixers could really get lucky if Sacramento jumps 13 spots and wins a lottery tomorrow
Unlikely.
night. But back to reality, Brett Brown's seed is more than a little warm, and now that the process is nothing more than a cliche, there is pressure to win now. Tony, where do the Sixers go from here?
Clearly, they are a team in transition because of everything you're saying. I would not be surprised. I don't think you would be surprised if Brett Brown were no longer the coach next year.
Wouldn't that be unfair?
I don't know.
There is that talk.
An owner says we have to advance.
I know, but game 7
I'm just going to tell you,
shot that bounces 4 times.
It's not going to surprise me if that happens.
All right.
Tobias Harris, to me, is just a guy. I wouldn't waste time. Jimmy Butler has always struck me as a Hessian who will go to the best situation out there with the best money. But he likes Embiid. Embiid is the draw here.
It's his big brother.
Let me get to what I think is the heart of the question here, and it's Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons afraid to shoot. Now, they had a disastrous
pick from 3.
They had a disastrous pick with Markelle Fultz, who became afraid to shoot. Ben Simmons, your lead guard, he's really good. He's really good, but if he's afraid to shoot, do you move him and get a point guard and restructure around Embiid? What do you do?
It's a lot of restructuring. Let me just say this. They should move heaven and earth to keep Jimmy Butler. Because Jimmy Butler goes and he can tease Embiid. He can push him. He can nudge him. You know he's unafraid.
Agreed.
He tried to do that in Minneapolis, and those guys didn't want to be pushed and nudged and mentored.
Agreed, but will he look around and say there's enough here? See, that's what I'm asking.
Oh, will Jimmy Butler do that?
Yeah.
You have to keep Simmons. Simmons has to go. He has to get better. I mean, Magic Johnson didn't shoot threes when he was young. He did it as he got older. Simmons can get better. I would not trade him.
He can
He's
get
too
better.
good.
Does he look to you like someone who wants to? You got to shoot the ball.
You don't have to shoot it all the time. He's got to get better at that thing. And listen, J.J. Redick is so valuable. But J.J. Redick could look and say, there's any number of teams where I could be the last piece even off the bench.
With Embiid is the key. With Embiid on the court in this series, they're plus 90. Minus 109 when he's off the court.
You know what, Tony? You know what Jimmy Butler's got to do? Convince him. He's got to get in the kind of shape where he can play 75 games every year.
Healthy?
Plus the playoffs. Can he
healthy?
Be that?
The Denver Nuggets were playing Game 7 at home. They got a 17-point lead and somehow managed to lose to Portland. Portland won despite its best player, Damian Lillard, missing 14 of his 17 shots. But C.J. McCollum, the pride of Lehigh University, got 37 points. Wilbon, how seriously do you take the Blazers' chances against Golden State now?
Completely seriously, Tony. Look, they've played Golden State recently in the playoffs, and Golden State overwhelmed them. But we've seen that happen in the past in the NBA conference finals with, say, the Celtics and the way they treated the Pistons until they grew up, and the Pistons and the way they treated the Bulls until our dear friend Charles Barkley on this show and his show and other shows has been saying Portland's going to come out of the West. I texted Charles
I think Golden State's
after Game 7, and I said, what now? And he said, I'm sorry, did you hear me? Portland's coming out of the West.
I'm going to pick Golden State. How about you?
It's a compelling series. I mean, we're going to talk about
Are you going to pick Golden State?
I'm going to pick Golden State because of what I just saw them do.
Yep.
But Portland, Tony, is an irresistible team. They are so likable. I know you're going to underestimate them because you spent the whole spring telling people you'd never seen them play.
Not going to underestimate.
And Denver and Portland are not on your I-95 radar.
I'm going to underestimate them. I'm going to say Golden State is better. That's all.
Getting some respect now.
Did you hear what?
Respect.
You don't even
put
listen.
some respect on their name.
You don't listen. You don't listen.
No, because I'm making fun of you.
You don't listen.
Because you didn't watch them. You said they were in the land
that
time forgot.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Don't expect me to forget that. We have to look back to Friday night now at one of the amazing performances and outcomes in NBA playoff history. Steph Curry's 33-point second half Golden State's stunning road win without Kevin Durant, and yet another Houston elimination from the playoffs at the hands of the Warriors. Tony, did that Curry performance in that one half diminish James Harden's performance over an entire season?
Only 1,000%. James Harden can score all the points he wants. What does he do in the playoffs? Steph Curry has 0 points in the first half, and he finishes with 33 in a performance that evokes Michael Jordan. James Harden does not evoke Michael Jordan. We are done now with James Harden and Chris Paul and the Rockets. We are done. They are a second-round team. They're a fine team. They've had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and they can't beat this team.
Well, they're not a second-round team. It depends on where they finish versus Golden State because ain't nobody else beating them, just Golden State. And I would say that James Harden might evoke Karl Malone, another great player, who could not beat the best player of the generation. Look, I told you this morning on your podcast. I'm not going to shred Houston. It reminds me very much of John Stockton and Karl Malone.
They got
to the finals only because Michael Jordan was on the other side.
But
you know what that means,
to the
Tony, because
finals.
of geography. It doesn't. Houston is probably the second best team in the NBA because of geography. They have to play Golden State when they have to play them. It's like you don't make less of Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller, and all those guys. They didn't win.
It's a stunning circumstance that you could be at home for Game 6 and Kevin Durant, who was averaging about 35 points a game, is not on the court and you lose at home.
They're not as good, Tony.
So
They're not great. Golden State's great.
I'm so surprised at that. I thought they'd win the series.
Me too.
I did.
Tony, I thought they were going to obliterate them in Game 6.
I did.
And I thought Golden
They
State
lost
could
it.
win in Game 7. Didn't even make it that
The
far.
Los Angeles Lakers finally have a coach. He is Frank Vogel, who coached Indiana and Orlando. The Lakers gave Vogel a 3-year deal, which was 2 fewer than Tyronn Lue demanded. The Lakers also hired Jason Kidd as the lead assistant. But wait, there's more. Phil Jackson was reportedly consulted on Vogel and blessed the decision. Wilbon, how does this hire sit with you?
I like Frank Vogel. I think Frank Vogel's been a worthy coach. It seems like LeBron also likes entertaining the notion of people that he has been rivals with in the past and bringing them aboard, which is why he had, the crazy man from Vogel's team from Indiana come and play with him last year.
The blue in his ear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So LeBron seems okay with that rivals, there's a certain connection he has with them, and he probably knows he played against Frank Vogel. He may really respect Frank Vogel. So I'm not going to sit here and diminish Frank Vogel. I don't know what the Lakers are doing. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I know what the Lakers are doing. So if you know, take over.
Well, I think there are two things here that are interesting to me. One is definitely going to happen. LeBron is going to wake up one day and he's going to say, I don't want to play for this guy anymore. And he'll do to him what he did to David Blatt. And then Jason Kidd moves right up and in and he becomes the head coach.
Why do you presume he wants to play for Jason Kidd?
Because he won't be Frank Vogel. That's why he wants to play for the next guy. The second thing that interests me is the reporting of the influence that Kurt Rambis apparently has about coaching.
Linda Rambis.
Linda Rambis as well.
Yes.
Here is Kurt Rambis's record as a coach in the NBA.
32 and 132.
No, 65 and 164 with the
Well, 32 and 132 I think was Minnesota.
What does he know about coaching? If his record is 65 and 164, what does he know?
I'm not going to say Kurt Rambis knows a lot about basketball. Kurt Rambis
I didn't say basketball.
Laker teams,
said coaching.
and that includes coaching. Just because you can't coach yourself, what was Jerry West's record as a coach? But he could hire good coaches.
Jerry West walked out and said, it's not for me.
Okay, he couldn't get it done, but he could hire people who could.
Let's not make that. Are you going to equate Jerry West and Kurt Rambis?
We're not going to use what does he know about coaching as a criteria.
But you just said you have no idea what the Lakers
I have no idea what they're doing. I don't think anybody has any idea right now.
I would hope that the owner did.
Let me just say this. They're this close to being a clown show, bruh.
Let's take a break. Coming up, is John Beilein smart to leave Michigan to coach the Cavs?
And we've got a remarkable new high school record in the 100-meter dash. But the viewer...
Not backhanded, it's direct.
Okay.
Would you have advised John Beilein to leave Michigan to coach the Cavaliers?
No, I wouldn't have, Tony. Except if he was candid with me and I was his counsel and he said, look, this much money at 66 years old is too much to pass up. Then I would say, okay, I get it. And you could get back into college maybe, but though not a job perhaps as good as Michigan. Look, the Cavaliers don't have the players for John Beilein or anybody else to be immediately successful. And you wonder how long they're going to have him as a college coach, and there's going to be that out there all the time, even though he didn't have the players. He didn't have big-time players yet, not enough of them.
He's won every place he's ever been. He's won in high school, D3, D2, D1. His overall record is 829, 468. My guess is that he looks at this as an annuity. He's 66 years old. He's
unless, of course, he gets Zion.
Amount of money.
If he gets Zion tomorrow, that changes the whole thing, right?
We don't think he's going to get Zion.
He could.
Maybe he looked around at Maryland and Iowa and Wisconsin and Michigan State and says, it's hard to win here. I'll go to a place where the bar is really low because Cavaliers stink. I'll do better there as time goes on. That's what I'm thinking.
Money.
And that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. No. I mean, he's earned that. Do you expect the Hurricanes to come back strong after eating and I'm saying this in quotes, poop sandwich?
Well, here's a quote. It's from Justin Williams, who is Mr. Game 7.
He is.
Quote, you spend all this time leading up with everyone writing how great you are. You come out and sometimes you got to eat a poop sandwich. It doesn't taste good. You got to chew on it for a couple of days.
This is nasty.
This refers to them going down 2-0 to Boston, in Boston, giving up 11 goals in 2 games. Mike, I think that they're going to win Game 3 in Carolina.
You think so?
Yep.
You think they can beat Tuukka Rask?
I think that they throw poop sandwiches out at Marchand on the ice.
Did you get to know Justin Williams when he was part of your
little bit with
mighty
the
Washington Capitals?
He was a great player
team?
for the Caps.
You sort of said it in a derisive way, Mr.
No, that's what they call him, Mr. Game 7.
Mr. Game 7, because he's beaten everybody, including my team once when he was in Los Angeles.
He's great. He's a great player.
Good captain to be talking.
Matthew Bowling setting the all-time high school record in the 100-meter dash. Big deal, little deal, no deal.
It's big deal squared.
Yeah.
Okay, just the number alone. This kid, Tony, he has a wind-aided 9.98. but he also had this 2-1-3. He's in high school. You look at him run. And look, I'm going to get to the most important issue here. This is a white kid doing this. This is Tiger Woods, okay? This is, when
golf.
you look different from all the other competitors, it's an even bigger deal. This is in the state of Texas. They run in Texas. They got lots of the fastest guys in America.
So the wind aided is 998, and that is rare air. That's Olympic air. You break 10, that's Olympic air.
That's not Usain Bolt's Olympic air.
No, but it's Olympic air. Not only that, he anchors the 4x400.
Right.
He throws a 44-75 out there, runs the kid down.
He gangstered some kid.
Whoa, let me get to the big story here. He is also the state champion in long jump. So he's Carl Lewis and Jesse Owens, maybe. So when you say, is it a big deal? It's a huge deal.
I'm waiting for the headline.
Huge deal.
White men can't run.
Well, this
kid can run.
He can.
But can he survive the pressure that comes with everybody looking at him for that reason?
Don't know. When you're a prodigy,
that's hard, man.
Tough to keep playing the piano.
Does.
Enough email.
Great
Let's
story.
take one last
He's going
break.
to Georgia, by the way.
Still to come, Yasiel Puig takes out Madison Bumgarner, and then Bumgarner returns the favor after the game.
This kid didn't want to go run under Carl Lewis in Houston. We got to find out more about this. We'll tell you how Tiger feels after this morning's practice round at the PGA Championship.
Ooh, look at the hat.
It's cold everywhere in America except Florida.
It's cold there.
Cold in New York.
Cold there. And then came back and caught all 9 Sunday night. Wilbon, Joe Madden is killing your boy.
Forget about that. Contreras and Javi Baez, they are the MIPs, the most important or most impactful players, Tony, in the league. Wilson Contreras is great. I hope he keeps it up this long, though he can't kill him.
Not so happy anniversary, Bryce Harper. On this day 6 years ago, you ran full speed into the right field wall at Dodger Stadium as if you had no idea it was there. Harper's with the Phillies now. He's killing the Nats this year. 2 homers and 7 RBI in 8 games, but doing very little in the other games. Since April 10th, Harper's batting .196 with just 10 extra base hits.
That's like when you hit the shower, a glass door in a hotel bathroom you're not accustomed to. Oh, he could have really seriously hurt himself.
Happy trails to this Madison Bumgarner inside fastball. Mad Bum's bitter rival, Yasiel Puig, took him deep and gone and accentuated a theatrical bat flip to taunt Bumgarner even more. After the game, Bumgarner said snidely, quote, "He's a quick study. It only took him 7 years to learn how to hit that pitch," unquote. That is a great quote, and these two, they don't like each other.
Right now, Puig's a hell of a lot more valuable than Madison Bumgarner, who's probably going to be traded by the deadline.
I also wanted to say a melancholy trails to Doris Day and Peggy Lipton. Doris Day was in so many great romantic comedies in the 1950s and 60s.
Rock Hudson.
Peggy Lipton was on the Mod Squad in the 70s. Doris Day was 97. Peggy Lipton was 72. But the producers wouldn't let me say this for fear I would look far too old.
I'm going to look old, too. Lipton, Clarence Williams III, and Michael Cole in the Mod Squad. That show was so out of the box at the time, Tony. And by the way, she's Rashida Jones's mom.
Yes, she is. Married Quincy Jones. Yes. Running out of show, we go to the big finish. Tiger played 9 in the cold and rain at Bethpage this morning. Says he feels good. Is that significant?
For the start. Are you going to feel good, by the way? It's in the 50s and the 60s with that. Come on, put the thing in August where it belongs. The Mavericks say Kristaps Porzingis was jumped and assaulted outside a club in Latvia. Your thoughts?
Get him out of Latvia and get him back to Dallas would be my thoughts. Man City beat out Liverpool to win the Premier League. Are you impressed?
Yeah. I mean, Liverpool only lost once in league play. Man City has lost 4 times in Drew Trice, Tony. Man City. Aaron Rodgers had a momentary cameo in Game of Thrones last night. Is that a big deal?
I had a line in the Americans. I said, ooh, what a shot. Did Rodgers have a line?
Did he?
Didn't have a line.
Did he? Are you sure you don't watch?
Mike Myers goes against the Mariners tonight. Second straight no-hitter?
No. You and I know what that's called. The kids don't know.
The Vandermeer.
That's called a Vandermeer, and he's not getting it.
We're out of time. Trying to do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
He does get it. We're going to talk about that tomorrow for a long time. I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. You can get the PTI podcast on the ESPN app or Apple Podcast.
Peggy Lipton, Camp Kiuma says goodbye.
Really?
I went to camp with her.
Wow, how about that?
Went to camp with her.